Now on Nightside, the major decision in the case against Brian Kohberger, accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students.
The last of the snow showers are tapering off tonight as drier, colder air takes over in your First Alert forecast.
Spokane's mayor on family leave just 13 days before the election. You're watching 4 News Now Nightside. Today, a judge rejected Brian Kohberger's attempt to have the grand jury indictment against him thrown out. A major decision nearly 6 months after he was indicted. Kohberger's accused of killing these 4 University of Idaho students. Thanks for staying up with us for Nightside. I'm Kirsten O'Connor.
And I'm Derek Dice. Kohberger's defense team argued today that the standard of proof for a grand jury to indict a suspect needs to be higher than just probable cause. Basically, if a suspect is indicted, it means that a grand jury found enough evidence to formally charge them with a crime. The Idaho Supreme Court ruled the grand juries only need probable cause to indict someone. Kohberger's attorney, Jay Logsden, argued that grand juries should have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the suspect committed the crime in order to indict them. But that argument was rejected by the judge, who said the arguments Logsden was making weren't applicable in his courtroom.
This is certainly an issue that you would have to bring up with a higher court, like the Idaho Supreme Court.
The judge said in this case, the grand jury followed instructions in accordance with Idaho state law. Therefore, the indictment will not be thrown out. The other major announcement is that cameras will stay in the courtroom, at least for now, but with some new stipulations.
I'm going to ban cameras in the courtroom, but I need to have more control over what the cameras are doing.
The judge said cameras may only begin recording once the court is on the record and must stop when they're off the record. However, this is not his formal ruling as to whether cameras can remain in the courtroom long term.
November 13 will mark 1 year since Madison Mogen, Kaylee Gonsalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were found stabbed to death in a house near the University of Idaho. Today, Ethan's legacy is being honored through a Sigma Chi scholarship. Ethan was a triplet. His brother Hunter is the inaugural Ethan Chapin Memorial Scholarship recipient. Every year going forward, a $5,000 scholarship will be awarded to a member of Sigma Chi in honor of Ethan. Donations for the scholarship are being accepted. For a link to the donation site, visit our website, kxly.com. The massive backlog of sexual assault kits in Washington has been cleared. The state attorney general saying all 10,000 kids have been tested or are in the process of being tested.
Now, survivor stories are being heard. A broken system has been reformed. The culture has been changed. Testing times have improved, and crimes are being solved.
Bob Ferguson going on to say at least 20 people have been convicted as a direct result of these kits being tested. One sexual assault survivor who helped pass legislation to help clear the backlog had a message for other survivors.
What happened to you was not your fault. That this backlog was not your fault. You were not uncooperative. You were working in a system that was not designed for you.
Washington State Patrol says because of new technology and support, this backlog should never happen again.
All right, temperatures hovering right around the freezing mark. It never really got very warm today, did it, Chris?
No, we topped out in the 30s, and that is where we find ourselves right now. But as skies clear early tomorrow morning, we're going to drop, about 10 degrees from our current readings, more in some locations. We're already 28 in Cheney, 33 in Spokane, as well as Spokane Valley. It's 31 in Hayden and 30 right now in Post Falls. But by tomorrow morning, we are going to be down in the low 20s in many locations, 19 degrees tomorrow morning in Spirit Lake, and it looks like we're going to be even colder on Saturday morning. That is going to be full coat, gloves, and scarf at the bus stop for the kids. The snow showers are continuing on a very isolated basis, and most of what you're seeing here is the very lightest of flurries. We've had some minor accumulation on the Palouse and some of the grassy surfaces We also have a couple areas of snow shower activity in the northeast mountains, but we have very dry and cold air that is going to be replacing these snow showers overnight. So we are clearing out in your Friday planner. A high tomorrow of 41 degrees, 52 is our average high, starting the day off in the lower 20s. Blue skies, sunshine, relatively light winds, but that sunshine is deceptive. We have a very gradual warming trend in the 7-day forecast. I'll be back with that in just a few minutes. Kirsten.
Thank you, Chris. With just 13 days until the election, Mayor Nadine Woodward is now on family leave.
According to the city of Spokane, Mayor Woodward's mother is terminally ill. And according to the city, the diagnosis was very sudden. Garrett Jones has been delegated as the interim city manager for now. The mayor's office released a statement that reads, "Please keep Mayor Woodward and her family in your thoughts and prayers as they focus on family."
And because of this, Mayor Woodward canceled her appearance at a debate that was scheduled for tonight with her opponent, Lisa Brown. Brown issued a statement of her own saying, quote, "My deepest sympathies are with the mayor and her family during this difficult time. I wish them peace and comfort in their time together."
Washington State and Oregon State are working to rebuild the Pac-12 conference, but both schools need a Whitman County judge to rule in their favor.
According to a series of documents filed in federal court this week, WSU and OSU are claiming that the Pac-12 isn't following the conference bylaws. Sports director Julian Minnesone joins us in studio now with evidence that could help the Cougars and Beavers.
Yeah, WSU and OSU certainly have a case. According to the court filings, when 5 Pac-12 teams announced they were leaving the conference on August 4th, Pac-12 Commissioner George Kliavkoff sent a text to a reporter saying, quote, "As of today, we have 4 board members." At that time, those 4 were Washington State, Oregon State, Cal, and Stanford. Now, according to the Pac-12 bylaws, when a team announces its intention to leave the conference, it gives up its seat on the Pac-12 Board of Directors. Now, the departing schools, who are still a part of the Pac-12 until next summer, still want to have a say in determining the future of the conference and its millions of dollars of assets. Now, WSU and OSU are worried that the departing schools will vote to dissolve the Pac-12 and take the money to their new conferences. Just to put into perspective, when USC, UCLA, and Colorado announced its intention to leave, they were removed from the board immediately. WSU and OSU are hoping the same thing happens here. Now, a hearing on the matter is set for August 14th in Whitman County. Live in the studio, Julian Minnesone, 4 News Now Sports.
Thank you, Julian. The CDC is warning families to be extra cautious about RSV this year.
The symptoms you need to keep an eye out for. Plus, a veteran and a dad of 2 kids in the battle of his life against one of the most aggressive forms of leukemia.
Watch me for an hour and the other 23 are yours.
I've never seen you in the club till it closed. You usually leave about 2 hours before it's over.
Well, I beg to differ. In fact, I even have a tattoo on my leg. So what? We're going to party until the club closes.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+.
4 News Now is brought to you by Pape Machinery.
It was in August, fires raged through our area. This one, the Gray Fire in Medical Lake. Homes destroyed, trees destroyed along with it. They've got to come down and get moved out for the rebuild. We're here in mid-October to help move them. The 4 News Now Extreme Team, brought to you by and with volunteers from Horizon Credit Union.
There's nothing worse than politicians who say one thing, then do another. Like Lisa Brown, who said,
"People care about crime. They want people who break laws to be held accountable by our law enforcement system." I believe that.
Brown's actual record, she gave our tax dollars to the Bail Project of Spokane, which bails out violent offenders. Brown gave a $50,000 grant to La Taxion, a felon convicted of murder. We can't trust Lisa Brown to keep Spokane safe.
We aren't just HVAC specialists. We're a Lennox Premier dealer. That means we offer the most energy-efficient products on the market, with savings you can see and perfect air you can feel. Your comfort is our passion, and we're with you every breath of the way. Enjoy greater comfort and lower energy costs. Call us today and save on Lennox with special incentives and rebates.
Call Norco Heating and Air today.
This is going to be a lot of fun.
He's got the stars.
Yeah.
The studs.
I don't remember a time in my life I didn't watch his shows.
And the unexpected.
I've always thought of you as Dave Jr.
Every hair on my body is standing up right now.
Jimmy Kimmel Live, new weeknights on ABC.
If you're looking for a new Tundra or Tacoma truck, feel Finley Downtown Toyota has over 70 in stock and ready to go. And if you're looking for a new RAV4, Highlander, or a Toyota 4Runner, we have over 100 in stock with great financing options. And if you're looking for a quality used vehicle, we've got a whole city block full of fantastic choices that come with a 3-month, 3,000-mile warranty. So if you're looking for a great selection at a great price, you can find it at Finley.
This week's Washington Trust Shred location is at the Lincoln Heights branch.
Well, thanks for staying up with Nightside. There's a chance your kid may have been exposed to salmonella at school. Spokane Public Schools says onions were served at a dozen schools, and those onions are now being recalled for possible contamination. The onions were served in lunches at the schools listed on your screen here. The most common symptoms of salmonella contamination are fever, stomach cramps, and diarrhea. You can take another look at this list of schools on KXLY.com. Well, the CDC is now warning that a key treatment for RSV is running short right now, and a local pediatric clinic says it's concerned about the limited supply.
Now, doctors are asking parents to be patient and learn more about this dangerous respiratory disease ahead of time. Dr. Kimberly Grandinetti with Spokane Pediatrics says the clinic has enough doses for now. The monoclonal antibody treatment is recommended for babies younger than 8 months. Dr. Grandinetti says it's a life-saving treatment for the babies in their first RSV season.
If you think about all of that congestion in a little baby's lungs, it just fills them up to the point that they can't move anymore because it's so full of so much mucus. I mean, the babies can't clear it because they can't sit up and cough. So they get admitted for oxygen. Some of them will get intubated and put on a ventilator.
The Spokane Regional Health District says the Department of Health has paused additional orders for RSV shots for now because of limited supply and high demand until further notice. The Panhandle Health District says the demand for the RSV vaccine is not as high yet, but parents interested in the vaccine should call their health care providers and get that shot as soon as possible. Well, this is Jason Perkins. He's a veteran and a dad of 2 kids, but right now he is in the battle of his life against one of the most aggressive forms of leukemia. Jason has battled that aggressive form of leukemia since 2019 and now needs a bone marrow transplant to stay alive.
At the Ponderosa Bar and Grill today, community members had their cheek swabbed to see if they can be a match for Jason. It's all through Be the Match, which tests these swabs to see if they'll match for Jason or anyone in need of a donor. He's being treated in Seattle, waiting for a bone marrow transplant.
Jason won't live without it. He can't live without it. And so the importance is sky high for us, you know. So we just need that match, and we're hopeful.
And the family is originally from North Dakota, where the rest of their family lives as Jason awaits his treatment.
Here are 4 things to know about your weather. It is going to be a very cold Friday morning, shockingly cold because we have not been in that territory yet this season. Teens and lower 20s. Sunny but chilly weekend ahead. Temperatures running below average. It's going to be warmer next week. We're going to be back up around average, but our average high by next week will be in the upper 40s. Here's our forecast radar. The last of our snow showers will be coming to an end this evening over the Palouse. Still the possibility of a few flurries in the northeast mountains through early tomorrow morning. If you wake up with a few clouds, though, they will be clearing. Expect a sunny Friday, but a chilly Friday as we have a northerly flow over the region. That cold Canadian air pooling in. High pressure off the coast will begin pushing that coldest air to the east. However, as we get into the weekend, we'll have a very gradual warming trend through the weekend and into early next week. Here's Sunday at 9 o'clock. That high pressure begins taking over, at least for the start of the week. Now, our daytime highs are going to be increasing. Our overnight lows stay below average through the 7-day forecast. Looks like the coldest morning of the season will be on Saturday morning, Sunday morning, 20 degrees, and then we start to moderate a little bit. Overnight lows tonight in the teens and 20s, highs tomorrow in the 30s and 40s. Your 7-day forecast keeps that sunshine going through Monday, a nice Halloween. Then we bring in a slight chance of showers Wednesday, a better chance Thursday. I'll have your 8 to 14-day outlook in just a few minutes, Kirsten.
Thank you, Chris. The Animal Shelter and Adoption Center Spokane is closed for the next few days. Administrators there say the closure is because of an outbreak of kennel cough, and veterinarians want to make sure that sick animals don't end up with pneumonia. Kennel cough does not impact cats, though, so felines are still available for adoption right now. Spokane hopes to reopen in a few days. The Elks Lodge in Colville wants to help families who lost everything in the Oregon Road fire.
Its members gave a $2,000 grant to the North County Food Pantry in Elk to help families in need. Now, the grant is called Elks for Elk. The North County Food Pantry provides wildfire survivors with more than just food. Its director says they have things like clothes, dishes, and bedding. Right now, the food pantry is serving 35 families who were affected by the fire, so this money will go towards any household items they need. Peter Wolk and his wife are one of those families. Before the fire, the Wolks volunteered at the pantry. Now, they're relying on its donations, which Wolk says are a huge help.
We just turned real cold, so now people, you know, they're seeing that, oh, I forgot to get winter pants, thermal underwear. And so that's a big major thing when you can come right here and go through what they've got, what's been donated.
For ways you can help families like the Wolks, you can visit our website at KXLY.com. In Maine, the intensive manhunt continues to find this man, 40-year-old Robert Card. He's accused of killing at least 18 people and injuring several others last night in 2 mass shootings. Today, police and FBI agents were outside the home of the suspect's last known address. Authorities could be heard on a loudspeaker saying, "Come out with your hands up." It is not known if Card was ever inside that home. Police are still urging residents to shelter in place. And at every one of these mass shootings, it's important to tell the stories of the lives lost.
Tonight, some of the names and faces of the victims are being shared. One of them, a 76-year-old youth bowling coach, grandfather, and loving husband who tried to protect the children in his care. Bob Violet's family described him as a doting husband who took great care to make sure his wife never missed her medication by setting timers on his phone. And 53-year-old mother Tricia Aslan was another victim killed at the bowling alley where she worked. Her entire family is grieving.
I saw someone get shot, and I saw blood splatter everywhere, and they just fell off their chair.
When the gunfire erupted, Tricia ran to call 911 and was shot. Her cousin Tammy remembers her as someone who lit up the lives of everyone who knew her.
Tell us about your cousin.
She was the most fun person. She was always happy-go-lucky, and I just feel devastated for the loss of her family.
Well, new on Nightside, an attorney for the off-duty Alaska Airlines pilot who's accused of trying to shut off a plane's engines mid-flight says he was not under the influence, suicidal, or trying to hurt others at the time of the incident. 44-year-old Joseph Emerson previously told officers he took magic mushrooms 48 hours before the flight. Today, he made his first appearance in federal court in Oregon on a charge of interfering with a flight crew. He also faces 84 counts of attempted murder. Emerson waived his right to a preliminary hearing in his federal case. His arraignment is scheduled for November the 22nd. All right, still to come, how 2 experts are helping parents navigate the guilt they might feel about TV and the best TV shows for your toddler. That's next on Nightside.
Download the KXLY Plus app for live updates all day.
The most important issue in this mayor's race? Crime and public safety.
I'm Nadine Woodward. We cannot let Spokane become Seattle. It's why I increased police patrols, opened new precincts, and got dangerous offenders off the streets with our Violent Crimes Task Force. My opponent? She's helped fund criminals and is supported by anti-police activists. I'm proud to be endorsed by law enforcement. I'm Nadine Woodward, and I approve this message. Let's make crime illegal again.
We love our house, but lately we've been feeling a little cramped.
So we talked to ICCU about a new home loan. The process was super quick, and we got a really great rate.
We start house hunting tomorrow.
Preferably something with a bigger garage.
I had a lot of bad days with gout, but that one took the wedding cake. Even with medicine, my uric acid was still too high to stop painful gout buildup. Then a gout specialist told me about Cristexa.
Cristexa is a prescription medicine for adults with gout whose symptoms are not controlled by other gout medicines.
I learned Cristexa quickly starts working to break down gout buildup.
Cristexa is an infused medicine. Serious life-threatening allergic reactions can occur while taking Cristexa. Tell your doctor right away if you have symptoms such as shortness of breath, trouble breathing, dizziness, itching, or swelling of the throat or tongue. Cristexa is not recommended if you have high levels of uric acid without a history of gout. Do not take Cristexa if you have a rare disorder called G6PD deficiency or favism. Before receiving Cristexa, tell your doctor if you have a history of heart problems and all the medicines you take. Cristexa may cause gout flare-ups, allergic reactions, nausea, bruising, sore throat, constipation, chest pain, and vomiting.
I received Cristexa for about 6 months. Now I'm in control, not gout.
Find a doctor who specializes in gout at goutdocnow.com.
4 News Now is brought to you by Wendell Motors.
Oh, turtles! Sunny day, sweeping the clouds away. Right!
And those are the songs that play in my dreams. When it comes to TV for toddlers, the possibilities seem endless. Making a choice about what's best is difficult for parents, and that's where doctors Liz Horgan and Roxy Etta come in. After years of researching children's media, these moms and best friends are helping parents navigate the guilt that we might feel about letting our toddlers watch TV.
The main misconception we hear is that kiddos watching TV are zoned out. Actually, they are zoned in on the content. They are cognitively engaged and they are learning from whatever they're watching.
So a couple of tips they have. Watch a show on the TV in the living room instead of a tiny screen like your phone. That way kids can engage more. And they also recommend slower paced shows that encourage kids to participate and model good behavior. Shows like Sesame Street, Tumbleleaf, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, you remember that book, and Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, which is a spin-off of Mr. Rogers. They say that if you engage your child with these shows that they're watching, the more likely that they are to use that information in their daily lives.
I saw Paw Patrol on there. I miss my kids watching Paw Patrol. Well, the end of daylight saving time could be a real headache, literally. We go back to Pacific Standard Time on November 5th. Researchers at USC say the time change can be hard on the body. It can cause head pain, seasonal affective disorder, and sleep cycle disruptions. So, have some Tylenol on hand and invest in some exercise, some morning time outside, and even some light therapy.
One of these days, they're going to sign that bill, and we will not do that again. Holy smokes. Let's do that. In the meantime, our sunset today was 5:42. 37 the high today, 52 is our average time. Just putting this up to show you how far below average we were today. 28, that was our coldest morning so far, but we are going to be colder than that tomorrow morning. Our temperature trend over the next 7 days takes us back up to around average, if not a little bit above, just in time for Halloween. Then we go out 8 to 14 days, and it looks like that trend is going to keep going up. Temperatures for November 3rd through the 9th showing above average temperatures, and we're in that darker red. So a fairly strong confidence of warmer than average conditions and wetter than average conditions too. We're in the 3rd level of green there. November is our 2nd wettest month and sort of the beginning of the wet season anyway. So expect some rain on the way for that first week of November. Beautiful pic of the night tonight from Jerry Kaiser. He shared this photo of a moody bend in the road there, or the railroad tracks. He took this picture near Palouse with the colors changing there. Autumn leaves still peeking down on the Palouse. If you want to do some leaf peeking over the weekend, I would head south and take a look. Kirsten?
It was even prettier with the snow on top of the leaves.
Yes, gorgeous.
Like
I actually missed that, so I'm going to take your word for it, but that is
really,
pretty.
I should have taken more pictures. I bet a bunch of our photographers have. Thanks, Chris. Priest River High School held a special ceremony for one of their football players. What made tonight's game extra special? Next in sports.
Download the KXLY Plus app for weather every 10 minutes.
This week's Washington Trust Shred location is at the Lincoln Heights branch.
We're giving Jeopardy!
Yes, Ken.
The star treatment.
Wait, what does that mean?
Celebrity Jeopardy is back.
The greatest game show on earth.
Holy moly. Ready for it? Hosted by me, Ken Jennings.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be mad. A lot more is on the line here.
Your charities seem amazing, but mine's empirically better.
Celebrity Jeopardy in primetime. New Wednesday, 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
One of the inland Northwest's most extraordinary four-wheeled beasts, the Honda SUV thrives in a diverse habitat. Comfortable in rugged terrain or roaming city streets, it can travel hundreds of miles on a surprisingly small amount of fuel. Fiercely protective of its young, the Honda SUV is known by its distinctive markings, CRV, Pilot, Passport, and Ridgeline, and can live happily for decades in any garage or driveway. Catch them now at your Inland Northwest Honda dealer. Honda can handle it.
My name is Jennifer, and this is my Summit Cancer Center story. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in November of 2015. Getting a cancer diagnosis is literally like having the rug pulled out from underneath you. When I'm at Summit Cancer Centers, I feel like they're kind of part of my family in a sense. They've always had my best interests in mind, so I'm actually very hopeful for the future. I would recommend Summit Cancer Center.
At Finley Downtown Toyota, there's never been a better time to trade up to something better, as we are loaded up with the best selection of new and used vehicles to choose from, with great financing options available.
Finley Toyota's downtown.
Derek Dice has spent his life and career right here in the Northwest. Now, he brings his decades of experience to 4 News Now at 5, 6, and Nightside. The name you've trusted for years at a new time.
Washington State is approaching arguably the most important game of the season. Welcome into sports. I'm Julian Minenso. Now, normally a matchup against a 1-6 Arizona State team wouldn't be deemed a big game, but WSU has lost 3 straight and needs to win to keep pace for a bowl game. Alex Crescenti is in studio to show us how the Cougars can come out on top in this week's Chalk Talk.
Washington State has won the last 2 matchups in their series against Arizona State, but this Sun Devils team has proven to be pretty pesky in recent weeks, as they were just a few minutes away from knocking off number 5 UW inside Husky Stadium last Saturday. And this Cougar team knows they got to be on their A game if they want to come away with a win. Now, we talked about it a couple times already, but this is really a must-win situation for Wazoo. They're still 2 games away from bowl eligibility, and there really isn't a whole lot of matchups left on the schedule that look like guaranteed wins. Now, in previous years, we've seen head coach Jake Dicker get on his team during practice the week before a big game, and this was certainly no exception. On Wednesday, he told reporters the practice simply wasn't good enough.
This defense is real. It's coached really well. Arizona State has always been extremely talented, period. They have challenging schemes, very attacking schemes. You know, we got to be on our best to go out there and win, and we can't have a half practice on a Wednesday to go out and win. Okay, offense, they're going to run the ball. We haven't been great in our run fits. We got to have more focus in our finish to be physical and communicate and want to come out here and do it on Wednesday, because it's not just going to show up on Saturday.
Now, while you heard Dickert mention ASU's running game, the Cougars' rushing attack is another story altogether, as this week it just got worse. We learned that Jalen Jenkins was dismissed from the team on Monday, and Dylan Payne is going to be out with a high ankle sprain, so the load of the responsibility will go to starter Nakia Watson and freshman Javinsky Schlembaker, meaning the active running backs left on the roster have just 257 yards on the ground all season long. Now, despite the recent struggles, Vegas still has the Cougs as 5.5-point favorites right now, so there is reason to be optimistic if you are a Coug fan. Julian, send it back over to you.
Thank you, Alex. Now, the Seattle Kraken have been playing some extra hockey this week. Seattle defeated the Detroit Red Wings in overtime on Tuesday. The Kraken would be a part of another overtime game tonight, this time against the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, in the overtime, we're going to go 15 seconds left. Martin Nikas will go top shelf from the top of the zone right there to beat Seattle. As the Kraken, they won in final seconds the other night, but they fall in the final seconds in this one, 3-2. Now, who says high school football is only for Friday? Gonzaga Prep and Lewis and Clark went head-to-head across the street at One Spokane Stadium. Second quarter, after a Tigers field goal, it's Nico Alexander. Remember that name because he's going to be a part of this highlight right here. Back to the return kick for the Gonzaga Prep Bullpups as he's going all the way to the house to give the Bullpups the early lead. Now, just before halftime, Lewis and Clark, they're going to look to answer. It'll be their quarterback, Jack Peridon, going deep to Ian Schwartz, who's going to reel it in for the score to keep LC within striking distance. Now, the Tigers, they would take the lead in the fourth quarter, so G Prep needs an answer, and they get it right here. The pitch to Jonah Keller works perfectly as he scampers ahead for the long touchdown run, and Gonzaga Prep goes up 28-25 with just a few minutes remaining. Now, LC down to their final chance. Peridon looking to be the hero, but he's picked off by Neil Verk, and that seals the deal for the Bullpups. They face Sunnyside next week after the 35-25 win. Now check this out. Priest River High School didn't have enough players to fill the varsity and JV team this year, so the JV team acts as both, which makes scheduling games difficult. Now tonight, Priest River had a last-minute homecoming and a senior night for their only senior on the team, Kemper Dabrowski. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. Now Dabrowski also won Homecoming King. Crown him MVP of the night as well, as King Kemper with a huge run to start off the game. No one is catching him. The touchdown, and ultimately Priest River hangs on to win 19-18 over Sandpoint JV. Perfect ending to a perfect night. He also personally walked up to me prior to the game and thanked me for being there. Yeah, so it was awesome to get him on the show. A senior, last game, didn't know if it was going to happen, but he got to feel like a superstar tonight. And
he's the toast of the town right now.
Yeah.
No, he's wearing a crown and everything. So sweet.
Super cool.
Download the KXLY Plus app for breaking news. At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
What I want people to know about Numerica's involvement is that it's genuine.
I work at a company that supports the community because we're a part of it.
It's important to give back to the community you live in.
We are truly here to help, and we're passionate about it.
At Findlay Downtown Toyota, there's never been a better time to trade up to something better, as we are loaded up with the best selection of new and used vehicles to choose from, with great financing options available.
Findlay Toyota's downtown.
4 News Now wants to take you inside the walls of Sacred Heart Children's Hospital to meet brave children and their caregivers. Miracle Mondays, brought to you by your locally owned Inland Northwest Ace dealers.
Did you see this? It says most people are going to need long-term care that health insurance and Medicare won't cover.
I saw that, and it got me thinking, if I need to pay for home modifications or in-home care, I am not prepared. Are you?
Not really. I mean, whatever happens, I just want to know that I'll be able to get care and stay in my own home as I age.
Right? I want that too. So,
Find out how the WA Cares Fund can help.
Attention, RV shoppers. R&R RV in Liberty Lake has just lowered prices on every motorhome, fifth wheel, and travel trailer in stock. Last year's models are slashed to the lowest clearance prices you will ever find. We're talking jaw-dropping savings on Montana, Rockwood, Cougar, Winnebago, and more. Don't delay. R&R RV's fall clearance sale is on now. Quit dreaming. Just do it. Hurry to R&R RV to claim your new RV and save thousands. Visit R&R RV in Liberty Lake, I-90 exit 296, or shop now at rnrrv.com.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.
When you think of a high school cheerleader, you probably imagine a teenage girl. But on game day, this Army infantryman based in Texas can be found in the stands cheering along with his 15-year-old daughter, Jaslyn. Andre Simmons went viral for cheering along with his daughter, and now he's earned himself the nickname #1 Cheer Dad.
And then, hey, cat, let's go. You got it?
One more time.
He says he does spend time with his daughter and make up for being away from his wife and 5 kids while he's on military duty.
Wow.
#1 Cheer Dad.
Go, Cheer Dad.